Hello, guys. Welcome back in our online discussion, and we will in topic number two, clothing tables. In the previous module or lesson, we discussed about the importance of preparing the furniture. So we will not just prepare the furniture, the tables, the chairs. We make sure that there is no crumbs building up in the chairs as well as in the tables, but we also needs to prepare the tablecloth, the top cloth, and other cloths used in the operations. So for this particular online lecture, we will discuss about the clothing tables. So there are different establishments have different ways and styles of clothing a table. Again, there is no such thing as standard. Yes, we have standard, but standard in a specific establishment. So again, every establishment have the different standards. So we need to follow the standard set by the establishment. Okay, so for example, if you will transfer to other establishment, you work in the other establishment. What you have doing in the previous establishment that you're working might not be the standard on the next establishment that you are working with. So you need to adapt, changes. You need to follow the standard of every establishment that you are working with. So there are external requirements such as event themes and guest preference also affects the way a table is clothed. For example, if we have a wedding and you want a motif green and pink, so we need to change the color of our cloth, and also their preference design if they want in the forest. So we need to make some changes, modifications of the design of the venue or the environment. So there are different types of food and beverage linen that is very useful in the operations. So we have here 10 types of food and beverage linen. So there are lots of F&B linen, but we will just talk about the 10 types of food and beverage linen commonly used in the establishment. Number one, we have table runner. Okay, so just like this one. I think you are already noticed in the conference room. Sometimes the students use this table runner, okay, at the center of the table. Okay, this is like an additional design. We also have placemat. So we need to put placemat in the table, especially if the table is made of glass. The purpose of that to avoid the slippery of glass or plates because it will slides because it is made of a mirror. Okay, so that is the purpose for protection for gripping of the tablewares. That's to avoid breakages of the tablewares. We also have tablecloth. This is the common use by the F&B service staff. We also have tabletop. You will just put it in the top of the table. And we also have tables silencer. So we have a table made of wood, for example, and we put table silencer before the tablecloth or top cloth. Okay, so we put table silencer. As we can notice, the tablecloth have the additional space or additional part laying in the side or corner of the table. But the table silencer, it is just fit the size of the table. Okay. This is like example in our part. This is like a underwear. Okay. We wear underwear before the t-shirt or any cloth that we wear. We also have waiter's cloth. So there are some establishment have the standards that every waiter must have the cloth on the left side. Okay, for example, if you will serve a wine, so you also need this one. Okay, you need to wipe the excess wine or water, for example, also. And we also have table napkin, or we call it What is again the other term used for table napkin? It is serviette. So we need to put here, put in the table, or might be put in the plates. Again, the purpose is this is not just only for the design, but for the protection of our cloth, okay, the cloth that we wear, and also used to wipe the excess food in our mouth. And we also have table skirt, or we call it table skirting or skirting cloth. Okay, so this is used for the design. This is usually used in the buffet table. We also have a cocktail napkin. It's slightly different from the napkin. It is specifically used for the cocktail, for the alcoholic drinks. And we also have washcloth. Okay, so it is used in the lavatory. So if we will clean plates or glasses, we need also to use the washcloth. So other establishment also they use the color coding. For example, the blue used for the water goblet, the green for utensils, and others. Again, it depends on the standards used in the establishment. Okay. Next, there are procedures for laying the tablecloth. There are certain procedures. For example, if we will change the tablecloth, there is a certain procedure that we need to follow in laying the tablecloth. Number one, we need to check if table is clean and sturdy. As we have mentioned in the previous lesson, we will double check the furniture and the chairs. We need to make sure that there is no messy, there is no crumbs building up in the furniture. So after we remove the garbage, for example, or any things that is uh, in the chair, I mean in the table, we need to remove that. We need to double check that it is clean. But because sometimes it can also damage the cloth if we will put the cloth in the table and there is something on the table. So we need to check. Next, we need to make sure that the tablecloth is folded in a concertina or accordion-like manner. Okay, so we need to make sure that the tablecloth is folded, not just scramble or have a not folded. So we need to fold, make sure that the tablecloth is folded. The third one is we need to place the folded tablecloth on the table with its open end facing away from you. So don't worry, it's something like confusing, but I will play a video demonstration on how to lay the tablecloth. So don't worry. Number four, you need to fold the topmost layer toward direction. You need to hold the second and the bottom layer to secure them in place. Next, let it hang on the edge of the table. Using your thighs, press the unfolded topmost layer to secure in its place. Now, next, pull the bottom layer to release the rest of the tablecloth. Next, you need to adjust the tablecloth to make sure that the overhang falls equally. This is important, falls equally on each side. So there is a certain practice or training that you need to undergo in order to achieve this, having an overhang falls equally on each side. So after we're done laying the tablecloth, we need to double check if it is equally overhang in each side. And lastly, I mean last in this page, lay the top cloth through the same procedure. Same procedure. And then we will have a tips in clothing a table. Again, this is the procedure and this is the tips. The tablecloth should be clean and freshly laundered. So we should not use tablecloth that is not clean, that is not freshly laundered. Okay. We need to avoid the complaint of the guests. That is why we need to use the tablecloth that is very clean. Next tip, any linen with stains should be discarded. That is why it is important that we need to double check the linen if it is clean, if it is freshly laundered, or if there's any stains. If there's any stains on the tablecloth, we need to discard it. We need to remove it. We should not use it. Number three, tablecloth should be pressed and free from wrinkles. we need to press. We need to double check. We need to ask the laundry attendant because they are also assigned in pressing the tablecloths, not just for the bed sheet in the guest room, but also any cloth that is being used also in the food and beverage department. So we need to make sure that the tablecloth is pressed. Next, never let the cloth touch the floor. As we can observe here in the design, they hang the edge of the tablecloth here, but we need to make sure that it is not um, the cloth should not touch the floor. Okay. Next, make sure that the cloth is laid on the right side up. Okay. There is there's a sign if the cloth is in the wrong side or in the right side. So we need to double check that. I think that you also observe this one. And lastly, if appropriate, use the tablecloths to cover the legs of the table. If appropriate, you need to use the tablecloth what to cover the legs of the table, especially if the legs of the table is not good looking or there is something wrong in the tablecloth. There is a damage. There is, for example, the paint is not well painted, so we need to make sure that it is covered by the tablecloth. Not like in this one. I think in this picture that the edge of the cloth touch the floor and also the legs are not well covered, not like in this design or in this picture. So we will watch a short video clip on the demonstration of how to lay the tablecloth. This is the procedure. I do believe you cannot easily grasp this procedure if you will just read or if you will just listen. So I provided you a demonstration on this particular procedure. So please watch on this video. So as you can observe, you need to make sure that you folded the tablecloth as we have mentioned in the procedure. And you need to make sure also that it is in the right side up, not in the wrong one. So this is the demonstration on how to fold the tablecloth. You need to conduct a mise en place. You need to prepare the cloth. So this is the right way on folding the tablecloth. After the laundry attendant laundered, clean the table. So you have the responsibility also to fold this tablecloth. Now this is the demonstration on how to lay the tablecloth. Please watch carefully. So you need also to make sure that every edge of the table is balanced. It is equally distributed. Okay, so that's how you change the old tablecloth, the soiled tablecloth, to a new tablecloth. Thank you for watching the short video clip. So there are different, we need to proceed to the table skirting styles. There are different table skirting styles. I think that you also observe this one and you also have an experience. So this design is called plated. Okay, as you can observe, plated. This one is diamond. Okay, as you can observe, this is a diamond shape. And this is scallop. As you can observe, scallop. This design. And we also have sheared pleated. And this design is already um, ready-made or something that you purchase on the in the store. This is already designed by the tailoring shop. So you will just put the thumbtacks here, shredded, pleated. So let's proceed to skirting tables. The table skirt is a fabric or a paper drape which covers the front and the sides, okay, covers the front and the sides of the table from the surface down to the floor to hide, again, to hide the legs of the table. We need to make sure that the legs is covered with a table skirting underneath from the plain side. So the table skirting is traditionally done from scratch. However, most establishments now commonly use the ready-made table skirt, which can be easily attached to the table. At what I have mentioned a while ago, this is a ready-made, okay, design table skirting. You just put the thumbtacks here. But usually or traditionally, it is coming from the scratch. For example, this one, this is a plain or this is a raw tablecloth. So you put a pins to have a design like a diamond, pleated, and scallop. For the pleated, we also have the ready-made, and we can also make coming from the scratch or a plain table skirting. Okay, so again, the traditional coming from the scratch and from the new strategy of the establishment, you'll just have a ready-made to make the work easier and faster. So that's the end for our lecture, and I hope that you have learned something. And don't forget to answer the evaluation quiz. Next meeting, I mean, the next online lecture, we will discuss about the preparing table napkins. So we are done in preparing the furniture, fixtures, and equipment. And for this lecture, we discuss about the preparing or set upping the tablecloth. Next online lecture, we will discuss about the preparation of table napkins. Thank you. Bye bye.